I helped validate people's creativity. Kanye shared his life with us. God is God. There is one God, so you can't play God. Fuck sushi. Fuck sushi. I never had sushi ever. That shit
never had
gross.
sushi?
Hell
So there's
no.
nothing to me. Ain't new to the ring. I son anybody who want it with me. The stupidity. If it's I and it's you, then one of these things is losing to me. Who could it be? Will it be you? Indubitably.
Post Vader, the undisputed podcast for the independent music industry, with your hosts Clef Wonder, Jordan, and Calvin II.
Today we have an artist, and I don't say the word artist lightly.
Oh, wow. Amen.
Hey, yo, real talk, real talk. It's a lot of people who do art professionally. It's not a lot of people who embody art. You know what I'm saying? From like the level of intention that goes into the lifestyle, to the aesthetic, to the visuals, to the music, to the relationship building. This person we have today is a true artist, also a decorated artist, has worked as a vocalist with people like Moby, people like Madonna, Khalid, Lil Nas X. Need I say, last but not least, Kanye West.
For sure. Also known as
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have Vegaz Taelor.
Let's
insert that applause real quick.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
All right,
Thank
bro.
you.
Vibe the energy in here. I
Appreciate
y'all
it.
for that.
No,
day, bro.
we appreciate you for being here.
That
Seriously.
shit either.
Nah, we're not cutting that at all.
Bro, so I want to take it from the top of the top, all right? I want to know the moment you knew I have a gift in music or arts in general.
The moment I knew.
Or somebody around you knew.
So like when I was in high school, I would always I would either be editing photos for people, or I would be, a lot of y'all don't know this, if you're from Chicago, you know this, but there's this dance called the hip roll. I would literally instruct girls to do the hip roll for me. And it was just during lunch, and then we get to the dance, and then they, the song come on, and they gotta grab me, and it's so I just started to notice over time, I helped validate people's creativity. And I think that I can't remember the specific moment, but I think, around high school, middle school, and me moving around to different places, I started to notice people would look for me to validate their expressions.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. So the gift that you discovered was more so leadership than it was I can sing, I can dance. It was more people are looking to me to validate them.
Yes. Because I feel like it's all encompassing. I think that you do, meet artists who, you got, shout out to my boy George Lovett, who is an amazing vocalist, and you hear his voice and it's dude, you just, oh my God,
Yeah.
With me, it's kind of been just all encompassing, man, so I think that people look to me to be inspired or see what I'm doing and then figure out how can they do something similar. It's not ever just been one thing,
What do you think has been your biggest challenge in being that leader? And is that something that you took on instantly, oh, this is me? Or is it something that was maybe thrust upon you? You were okay, let me see how I can do this and whatever.
I feel like it's finding my identity, even in you guys asking me that question, trying to pinpoint what, as opposed to, just being, you know what I'm saying? Am I a singer? Am I a dancer? Am I a video editor? Am I, you know what I'm saying? All these things. So I think that's been my hardest part. I feel like I don't like to be boxed. Most people don't like to be boxed.
No.
But in truth, you do have to focus, So I think in my life, it's come in spurts. I'll be focused on music, and then it'll move me to something else, and then move me something else, and then move me something else. But it's all me.
Which kind of speaks to what
architecture.
My bad, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I just like a lot of shit.
Yeah. Which kind of speaks to what I was saying about you embodying artistry. Like I said, there's a lot of people who it's all their artistry comes out in a craft. You know what I'm saying? I express myself through my vocals. I express myself through my writing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious to know if there's ever been a home base for you. If there's ever been a point where you were okay, out of singing, out of graphic design, out of doing visuals, curating events, bro, you do pretty much everything. This one thing feels the most like home to me.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Where you at right now, currently?
Currently, it is branding identity. If I could just give it a title, and it don't always. It's not always just me. It's me working with somebody else. I think being able to identify and pinpoint certain things that somebody might not see, just having a vision for things and being able to execute.
Okay.
For sure.
That's just, I don't know. That's what it is.
No, that's great.
Vision is a skill.
Well,
I really am. Like, y'all asking me that question right now, though, I literally just had to think to myself, like, I still don't really know. I don't know what I'm best at.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or like, that's an interesting thing because, like, you know, yeah, of course you want to always work in that area where you have the most unfair advantage and everything because you don't want it. But that's like, sometimes other things you do help to enhance that thing and stuff. Has it been difficult for you, or like, what are ways that you've used to actually find that maybe more specific thing? Because there's definitely a power in focus, but, you know, there's also a power in exploration. So like, how do you balance that, and what are things that you've maybe done to find like, okay, this is what I should focus on in this season?
I think it's what people want of me, or what I'm being paid for. Maybe that like helps me kind of pinpoint. Like, all right, maybe this is what
you know.
I'm strong at right now. This is
maybe
maybe
$8,000. I think you guys trying to tell me something.
Yeah, if somebody willing to pay money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like, I even thought about this today. Like, living in Los Angeles, like, you know, I have somebody at my studio right now who is, you know, very well known, and I just see people working around her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn, what it feels like to be in that position, which is still incentive for somebody at that point. Cause you like, I'm working with such and such, and they gonna, you know, put me on and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's crazy because most people really don't want to pay money. They really want to skirt by, and they want free work, and they want to, you know what I'm saying, barter or whatever. So I think when somebody's willing to pay me for what I do, that really means that they see something in me that they don't have, and they see it as valuable. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm good at this shit then. And for me, what I would say that is right now is creative direction. When somebody is working on anything, a music video, just launching, you know, their brand, whatever, putting an event together, they want me to come in and help with the aesthetic.
Oh, okay.
So they want my mind.
It's deep.
A creative director.
I agree, bro. And it's funny because I'm such a fan of your voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm such a fan of your musical artistry. I'm curious to know, you know, what sort of, I don't know, catalyzed your musical talent, one, and two, what catalyzed your musical talent? So like, what are your influences musically?
So I got my pops, my dad was a platter. My dad is a singer. And
Platter, like the group, the Platters?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, you met my dad.
I met your pops,
You got
famous songs that they're known for?
Great Pretenders, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. The Platters has been a group that's been remade several times. Like, the original Platters they've all passed away.
Oh, wow.
So you've had, like, you know, different Platters. But they have a lot of records. Oh, those are two that I know for sure, though.
No, that's good.
But yeah, it was him, really, like, I think identifying my gifts and working with me on my gift. I was, you know, in choir. I was in every singer, you got to spend time in choir and church. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, at least, you know.
Oh, no, a lot of folks.
That's where it starts.
From Mick Jagger to Paul like what?
You got to get that discipline in the church, man.
It was 5 and 6 singing for Jesus.
Man.
Wait, why is that? Can we unpack why it is that the church creates such great artistry?
Because, like, where else you go in society where it's like you're on a stage singing about something? So it's like, you know, and you have to consistently do it. You have to submit to the rehearsal. You have to submit to maybe sometimes an audition process, and submit to actually showing up on time. Those breed, if you can't do that on that level, you know, then you're not really going to go. And it's also like there's skilled singers who are going to actually invest in kids actually doing it. So it kind of makes sense. Like dope.
I think they're going to get them ties and offering. You know, that should be happening during that time. So they like, you know, that shit got to be A1. Bring this money in.
My thought is, and Clef, I'm curious to hear your thought on this, like growing up in the church as well.
Okay.
My thought is, like, in the church, people prioritize emotional connection to what you're singing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that you get a lot of great vocalists that come out of church because they're singing to God. And it's like the only way like you warrant a response in church is if you emote and you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
very deep. Very
you know
deep
what I
and
mean?
true.
So that's my theory. But does anybody
No, that's
have
good. I mean, well, I'll let Carl go first up, but that's good.
Okay. I was about to say something, but simplify that for me one more time, because I was about to say something that you
It's the emotional connection. It's like church is the one space where it's not about how you look. It's not about anything other than like, can you get somebody to connect with God?
Yeah, I mean, I was an organist in church. I mean, that's how I started. So I started as an organist in church, but when it comes to, I guess, proving yourself, basically, it's much that. It's just like you have to play a certain way, perform a certain way, sing a certain way that, you know, I guess brings out the Holy Spirit, depending on where you at. Like, I'm Kojic, so like our entire being in church is basically a performance. Like every Kojic service is basically a live show. Like I was raised on just straight up musicals when it comes to church. It's just like it'll just be church musicals. That's it. You just go to church at night and it's just like this choir, Cincinnati choir, this place coming out, doing all this stuff. So, and that's how I got into church. And like it's like I realized that there were more people going to church, there's more people in church for what the church music does for them. There's a lot of people not listening to them sermons. A lot, because it's not nothing new about the Bible,
right?
So is it?
No, real talk.
We got a third testament coming out.
I mean,
no, ain't nothing new. So there's also a new way to deliver a message. You also go have new generations. But by the time you're 30, if you're raised in the church, you should know what you know.
I go to a different type of church. I'm so sorry, y'all. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm like, my church is great.
So I mean, yeah,
I'm like,
you can say that. I mean, I believe it. I believe it with some people. Like I believe it with some people, but for me, I'm just like,
I get what you're saying.
Your point I was churched out by 18.
No, I get it. It was a lot.
4 days a week, and I was just like, all right.
But yeah, to Jordan's point and everything, and absolutely everything you're saying. But like, yeah, like it's a lot of these people. One, when we talk about church, we're also talking about something spiritual, not something just tangible. Right. So like, just like, you could feel something emotionally from where people have all these spiritual things and whatnot. There's a spiritual exchange when you're actually connecting with the source and stuff. And so if you're able to do that, now that pathway is there. And it's like people using that in other areas of their life. So if you're able to sing and emote and touch somebody with your spirit and your soul and whatnot, and you're doing that now with any other type of music, it's the same thing, just a different route. So being able to do that, like I think you said that, Jordan, but yeah, no, learning how to do that and actually emoting in a way to where, wow, somebody feels it and they're not you and everything. Yeah. That's one of, if you don't have that as an entertainer or performer, you have a ceiling where you're not going to go past. You're just kind of singing a song.
You learn the most essential part of connecting as an artist in that space. You know what I'm saying? Assuming that you broke through.
And hopefully, and that usually for most people, that's maybe the one time where they're doing something full out, like to wherever their connection with God is. They're like, okay, especially when they're kids, they're able to do it with full abandonment. They're not jaded yet and stuff. And so they're able to be like, no, I'm really singing to Jesus. He about to hear these notes. I've been practicing Jesus. And hit the note.
I would like to say to that, though, sometimes it's not always your vocal ability.
Dope.
It's more the conviction,
that's
I think.
Exactly it.
Sometimes you can just see somebody really believe themselves and we feel it on the outside. I think, some people are so focused on perfection, and it's not always the voice. Being around so many singers, I've learned that, it's definitely a difference between a singer and an artist.
Right.
And we want to believe you, whatever it is, however we receive it, you know what I'm saying?
I love that you said that, because that made me think of one of my most interesting questions that I have for singers. So the difference in skill level, or I don't want to say talent, but the difference in maybe skill level and lead singers and background singers, I've noticed, is usually very different. Most background vocalists I know are insane. And the lead singer, they're good, they're capable, and everything, but they have something different. What would you say is the difference between that, or why does that connection maybe there? And I guess for people who would maybe want to go from background singer to lead singer, how could that switch happen?
That's good.
I think it has to be natural. I don't think you can create it. It's like an it factor. Front men, people who are front men and have it factor just are born with it, I think. So to me, what you don't do is force it. What you don't do is try to force edge and try to force, you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't gonna feel right. I done seen some amazing singers cut some records and it just be like, this sounds crazy. It don't sound real. I think that it really is, like I said before, just the conviction. You know, some people who are in the front and they may not sing as well, they're checking boxes other ways. And it's interesting to somebody enough that they want to be that.
Yeah.
You know, it's innovative, it's different. You know what I'm saying? With some background vocalists, I think there's space for everybody, right? Because being the front man ain't necessarily.
I'm not even. I didn't want to make it
either.
seem like it's one is better or worse and everything. Because I just don't believe that. But I've always noticed that, like, the background singers are nasty. Like they're like maybe different level, and the leader be like, they're cool. But
so I could say this as an example, right? Somebody I've worked with who is a background singer transitioning into their artistry, right? I'm working with them on their set. They need my mind for everything. They don't wake up with the vision. They not trying to sit with me in their edit. You know, they're very much so willing to give their identity away. And I think any artist, you're not going to be willing to do that. Nah. It's yours. It's your baby. You wake up with it. You know, I feel like a lot of people, even who I know who have amazing voices, they cover a lot of songs, you know? It's just not a lot of identity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What is this? Yeah, that's been a thing for me as an artist and everything. Like, people be like, oh, you should do cover songs. And I'm like, it's just hard for me to do it. Not like, and I need to let it go. But for me, I put so much effort into perfecting my own stuff. It's like, for me to like, you wrote this already, you getting paid, I'm going to sing my stuff. You know, I've learned, of course, you know, you have to do it with intent for a specific reason, for audience sake and everything. But that's an interesting, but I never would have thought about that. That's very deep.
So question. Crazy. So you've worked with some household names. You've worked with people like Madonna, Lil Nas X, Khalid.
This small.
So question.
Small list.
You know, small
back.
That's nice that you give back.
It's so weird to hear it back.
Bro, it's a flex. It's a flex. What is your experience working with these artists specifically?
One by one.
Wait, who did you name off?
I said Madonna, Lil Nas X, and Khalid. And granted, there's more, but those are the three I'm curious about currently.
Madonna, Lil Nas X, and Khalid.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I, well, okay. Everything was great with each. But if I would speak to one, I'll go down the list for each one.
Go ahead.
Okay. What was dope about Khalid, it was my first time ever doing Coachella. So I thought it was dope. I thought it was dope that he was so young, you know, and just in the position that he was in. So, you know, that was cool. Lil Nas X, I think what I appreciated with him was the movement around him. I think similar to Beachella, right? They put a spotlight on dancers. It was everybody on stage was important. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like from that, we started to move into knowing who choreographers were, knowing who dancers are, you know, and from that, my experience with Lil Nas felt like he had the best of the best, literally the best of the best. Shout out to Sean Bankhead. Shout out to Tyreek Patterson. There's so many people I'm not naming, but those are two specifically that I know were on that gig. And, you know, I think just with what he's doing right now and what he's saying, it was amazing to see high functioning men in that position, you know, who identify gay, straight, bi, whatever, just for the cause. You know what I'm saying? There was a moment with the award show that we did, particularly, we had to walk through the lobby to get to the venue, which is not, you don't ever do that. You know, that's never happens. And we were not in LA, we were in Las Vegas. And I mean, they had the guys who was dressed like Femme. I don't know if y'all know what Femme is, but the Femme guys. And they had the trade niggas. Y'all know what trade is?
I don't know the second one.
I know now what trade is.
All right, so trade is like a nigga that's like, You would never know they was gay, but they
he's gay, but you don't know.
Yeah, they giving like everything that's like, you know what I'm saying? So they had the trade dudes, and then they had the choir. We were dressed in, I don't even know what, but it was like some sparkly shit. But everybody was definitely pushing into the tension visually, right?
Right.
So we in Vegas and we had to walk through the lobby to get to the venue and just seeing the reactions, you know what I'm saying? That was very fascinating. That was a moment that I'll never forget. Because one, it showed me I live in a bubble in LA maybe, and being an artist too, where the world ain't really, everybody ain't there yet, you know what I'm saying? But also just like the people who you could see were going beyond what they know. You know what I'm saying? They were like, okay, this is new, but fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, just showing love. So that was what was dope about him. I just like what's going on around him, particularly, and again, what he's doing for the dancers. And then Madonna, I mean, she's just a legend, you know. I loved seeing her be so hands-on. We had to wear all black in rehearsals. Everything was very, I mean, we were
Did she say why all black?
Because she needed a blank canvas, I guess.
Okay.
Shit, a little, you know,
Hey,
extra
she
to
ain't
me. But
unsuccessful,
you Madonna,
so
so you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But
it's been working for her.
she had eucalyptus seeping through the air, the ventilation everywhere. Like it was just such a big level. And that was my first time working with a major artist, like a big artist.
Yeah.
She had to come and look at everybody's hair, and you know, it just reminded me of like B. You know how you got some artists who are so hands on. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed that experience with her, and it was my first experience too.
So, as you were saying before, you know, all the people that you work with, mine, you know, I'm going to be very curious about, like, so you were in, you know, Sunday service, Kanye West's world-renowned gospel entourage. Really? So
gospel entourage.
Right, more than a choir.
It was more than a choir.
Baby.
It was more than a choir.
You know,
you know.
times we was like, y'all fans is Kanye fans is crazy. We was going to have to beat him up.
Right.
For real.
So, like, you know, first, you know, if you could just shed some light on that experience. I know anybody that's listening, anybody that's watching, is just like, we want to know what was that like. We saw the videos, we saw all this energy, we saw all this stuff. We saw Tori Kelly show up, we saw, you know, some hallelujahs.
I remember that day.
So, yeah.
You came, didn't you?
I was there when Tori Kelly came. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Exactly. So, like, I mean, you know.
I found out she was black. I was like,
She black.
Puerto Rican.
yes.
She Puerto Rican.
She Puerto
Don't.
Rican.
No.
Which
She a quarter black.
Afro Latina. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Love
Okay,
you,
continue though.
Tory,
What was-
Anyway,
but
she is
the
well
N-word
loved.
is still a problem.
She's well loved.
Be using the N-word.
No. I mean, I don't. I think she's half black. But anyway, keep going.
Hey, don't do it.
Nah, she's like Logic. Like Logic looks too white to be. He knows it. You
The
can't.
Logic
be
is
saying-
black. Logic is black.
I
But get back to
understand.
it, Clef. What's up?
Just don't say the N-word. You look too white.
So, get back to what we said. If you could shed some light on what?
No, I'm
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you
I
got
thought you about to say it.
If you could shed some light on that experience, give people some little background, what that was like, day to day, the trips, stuff like that. And then, you know, I got to follow up afterwards, you know, but I'll let you do that 1st. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so it was an amazing experience. It went on for about 3 years plus. I don't think anybody expected it to last that long.
Yeah.
So what was amazing about it was a lot of us had worked together prior to that gig. And we got to travel together. We had our own private plane.
Yep.
So we were seeing the same crew all the time. You know, it was really like a feeling of family, you know what I mean? Because we were around each other so much. I mean, let's say if the week started Monday, we're rehearsing till Wednesday, we're flying out to where we don't know.
Yeah,
you know,
you
we
don't
would
know.
find out every Wednesday where we were going, and then we would come back Monday, we would do the same exact thing. And I mean, that went on like every week. week. So it was just an amazing experience. If I'm honest, at a certain point though, you know, most people they pray, you know, can I get the touring experience? Can I, you know?
Yeah.
And it got to a point where it was just like, yo, every week, like, how do I even, if you got kids, if you got a dog, like, what do you do? Yeah. So it was definitely a lot at as amazing as it was a lot to deal with. Just kind of with such a demanding schedule. But I'll share, like, as far as the worship, um, and it being real, there were times that we would come in heavy, and spiritual warfare was real. We would feel it in the room, and we would like literally come into rehearsal. We have a whole list of songs Kanye wants us to learn, and they revamp them and they rewrite them, and then we do it and it changes in rehearsal, and it's always changing. But there be times we come in heavy, man, and we literally would worship for real. And go home.
And that would just be the hit.
And that would be rehearsal.
So there was nothing performative about this. Y'all were actually connecting with God in this experience.
Yes. I would say there was a particular moment for sure. Maybe it shifted a little bit at a certain point.
Yeah.
But there was a moment that I think, especially when it first started, which I wasn't a part when it first started, that was very real. It was for Kanye, and then as it grew, I think, when we were doing like Jimmy Kimmel and all of that, and Jesus is King came out and stuff, like that was still a very, very real moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was real. We were just so happy. Kanye shared his life with us. He has a ranch in somewhere. I don't want to be the one to say it. I ain't saying nothing. Yeah.
Somewhere.
And, just getting to know his kids. So the kids loved service, and they would literally be running in between us. Like, they knew all the songs. They were coming to rehearsals. It was a very good moment in his family. And I just felt like we all were truly riding a high, man.
Yeah,
we got these little chains. So this how you know the real, bro. If you see anybody with one of these, like, we just really bonded in a moment. We were making consistent money. He was taking care of us, So yeah, it was definitely an unmatched experience. Nobody who was a part can ever say that it wasn't amazing, but it did come with a lot of work.
No, that's dope. I mean, that's something that I think a lot of times people don't realize is as amazing as things can be, at a certain point it gets to work. And one of the weird sayings that I have is like, you only know you really had something when you're able to take it for granted or be a little bit jaded by it. That means you really had it. It's like, oh, you had that thing. It was like, oh, okay, it was laborious. It was like, it wasn't just a good time. That's almost anything in life. You really had it if you could be like, oh, whatever, mom. That means you really had a mom. Oh, I can't stand this mansion. You had a mansion. So you had an experience. So it's not a bad thing, but yeah, what were some things you learned from that experience? Yeah. Come on.
If you ever touring, pack snacks.
Hell yeah.
Because you don't know when you're going to eat. And when they say you're going to eat, you might not. So get your snacks ready.
Oh, you preaching today.
You know
Go
what I'm
ahead.
saying?
Come ahead.
I would say also
snacks.
Investing. We talking about touring again. Investing in like neck pillows.
Yeah.
Learning how to pack your bag 2 days in advance. Like literally have it by the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else did I learn? I learned
2 days in advance.
2 days, honestly, like for real. Just slowly but surely start adding stuff into the bag.
And like, well, what are some things that like you saw from that whole thing, just in different ways of the production, to where like, I'm gonna incorporate some of this into my life. Like, ooh, wow, I see how they're doing it. That's how a vision can be accomplished. I'm gonna incorporate this in some way. There might have been a million things, but
I think, like with my new venture, my studio, I'm financially in a position to, make more decisions and being able to execute, like have an idea, make it happen. I think that for me is really like watching him not really compromise the aesthetic, like, really making sure it was strong. And you don't always have enough time to do that.
Yeah.
But I think when you have the means to make it right, like, I guess that's something that I learned. A lot of the other things, man, I ain't got that bag like Kanye, so I can't even.
But no. But it was. I love the aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
Because like I remember there was a video, y'all. It was all black and that light coming down. And one of the things that I loved about it, they were just like kids just running around in the background. And I don't know
Oh, that was
why
at the
that was.
studio. Yeah.
I don't know why that was so cool
Warehouse.
to me, but it was just like, yo, that's insane, and that's a decision and a choice that was made to have that
That's
on
true.
screen.
Yeah.
And I don't. It just brought so much more life to it to me. They're like, yo, they were like, oh yeah, just run around and play in the back.
Wow.
For no
you know
reason.
what is crazy? Like those
Yeah.
moments are not like they weren't what's what I'm trying to say.
It wasn't
He
like
didn't plan
stage.
for that.
Yeah.
It
They were
wasn't
candid.
staged.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That was literally like impulsive. What we wore was impulsive. Like everything I think was that's another thing with him.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was ever he's not gonna compromise the look. But he might switch it 5 minutes later and we're gonna work it out. You know what I'm saying? But it was very much so not planned.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
So he was really
he's
flowing
creatively
with it.
malleable. Like he can identify something quickly and be like, that needs to shift.
Yes. There was one time we did an opera and well, first off, we done a couple operas. I just got to shout out the opera where he
I was at the opera where it was
did
like
the
30
Tin
degrees.
Yeah, we was cold as hell for that one. And there was another one where he had painted us all silver. And there was a meme going around of him calling him Tin Man. You know, he was silver. I don't know if y'all saw that with like the champagne
I saw
glass.
that, yeah.
But like that opera was nuts because literally like we was painted silver from head to toe. But there was another one like I don't know, like literally impulsively started to hand the choir like instruments and masks, you know, like in real time we singing it. We don't play these instruments he's handing us. We don't even know how to play. You know what I'm saying? So
like,
we sit here kind of like, what do we do? And you know, so it was literally that type of impulse, man, where we would just kind of be rolling with the punches, you know, or
spirit led.
Man, like it's so many things that I'm like, man, I wish I could even just think about it off the top of my head as far as the impulsiveness. Like it would literally be so random. We would just be switching things up literally last minute. But
well, that's good though.
It
I
always
feel
landed.
I feel like sometimes when people with less budgets, of course, but like, you know, people are maybe scared to make changes to stuff. They're like, no, we thought about this, we have to. So I feel like that can be empowering. Like, okay, this guy had not unlimited, but you know, vastly,
you gotta
you know,
a nice
voice, and
bag,
he wasn't scared to make a change and be like, actually, not this.
No, he's a true
whatnot.
creative mind, bro. And speaking to which, like as a creative mind, as we know, that comes with much controversy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious to know, as somebody who, you know, Kanye was definitely very paramount to your career. Were there any challenges that you faced, or are there any challenges that you faced recently as he's become even more controversial?
Well, not recently, because we're not doing it anymore. I think there was always endless discussion of Kanye wherever I would go. And for a lot of people in the choir, because they came from a church background, so there was a lot of pushback for him even stepping foot in the church or doing gospel music. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Right.
But I know when he was running for president, there was that we were part of that era.
Okay.
And that was pretty interesting to try to navigate that and figure out, you know, how do I feel? You know? And what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I would say that a lot of us who were a part of the choir, I think, have been working in the industry for long enough to have our own opinion and not necessarily need the job, you know? So I feel like a lot of us have seen certain things and we've not agreed with it and stand firm in not agreeing. You know what I mean? Mind you, always honoring, just like, you know, you got that uncle where it's like, damn, he get the drinking and it's like, not saying yay, but he get the drinking and it's like, fuck.
Right.
Right.
You don't understand what you got to do. I brought my friends and they gonna talk about you and I'm gonna have to defend you, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so I felt like we were always prepared for that, because in truth, he did show his heart to us. He did show his heart to us, and I'll never forget that. I mean, I can undoubtedly say that he changed all of our lives. Everybody who was involved, he changed our lives just to show us what it looks like to be treated like that for that long and to get that much access to things. You know, even, I mean, we had a link for the shoes, you know what I'm saying? Just being Black people who had something that people wanted. You know what I mean? Like, we were put in that position. So nobody can ever say that, you know, we weren't truly blessed in that. But him supporting Trump or him running for president, like, all right, you know.
No, I get that. That's fair and everything, because like, if you think about, there's millions of people around the world who work for a lot of different companies. These companies do everything. These CEOs do a lot of stuff. and whatnot. So if you have to now be accountable for every single move, like, are we holding that standard to y'all for everybody else? Oh, you work for Coca-Cola. Cool. You know what they did in Brazil? You know what they did in Chile?
Oh, you're talking about like all the
I'm talking about high level stuff, not
people,
just people's opinions.
Yeah,
I'm talking about you working for companies that's maybe dismantling governments.
Right.
And everything.
I mean, they're all dismantling governments. It's capitalism.
That's what I'm saying. No. I'm talking about directly. That's another story. But I'm just saying that, like, is everybody going to be held accountable for what their employer does? Or is it just like, he's an entertainer, so it's y'all fair game?
You know what's funny? I think people who don't live in LA and people who don't do what we do, they don't understand the full scope. They'll see you and judge you for saying yes to a gig, maybe even, right? When they don't know why you took the gig. You might really have needed the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they think that it's so much more, so layered. And it's like, sometimes it's as simple as like,
it's a check.
I needed the job, you know? So I feel like I have experienced that with people outside of LA who don't,
for sure,
who don't know any better. But yeah, I would just say to that, like, with all that circulating, especially around his name right now, you definitely got to always pick and choose battles. I would say, God is God. There is one God, so you can't play God. You know what I'm saying? There are consequences for your actions sometimes, and nobody's exempt from that. We're not, he's not, nobody. So I think that that's just that. But as far as, him and seeing his sincerity, I think that that's always something I'll defend. He's a free thinker, and that don't always mean you got to say everything that you feel, because I don't.
No, I don't.
I'll be honest and everything. I was just talking to somebody about this earlier today before I got here. It's like, I personally, and this is just me personally, I personally didn't get why people, I put it like this. I love Ye and everything. I've loved his music, but I never was like, thought that his words like have to move me. Like, oh my God, he did this. I'm sad. What?
Yeah.
I have a real life. I am worried about my family, my bills. If somebody else has an opinion over there, like, and that's just me. I'm not saying that anybody else has to agree with me, but I was always like shocked when, like, I can't believe he did this. I'm like, is he paying your bills or something?
Yeah, it's interesting. Celebrities definitely become thought leaders, and it's because they've acquired a level of success that, like, most people only dream of. So naturally, we associate that level of success with, like, you understand politics, you understand real estate, you understand all these things. And it's like, no, you understand how to make great music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And great art that people consume.
And just like, I don't know, personally, I just didn't give a lot of what he did so much weight to the point of like, Kanye said this. No, it's like, sir.
I said that.
I said that
all the time, man. Like, I would literally go when people say, "Oh, he did this." He's like, I get these group text messages in the mornings of just like, "You see this, you see this, you see that." It's respect to them, these homies.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't want to say that because I don't want to disrespect anyone else's like interest in that. Not just interest. Maybe it does affect them. But I'd be like, I know it don't affect me. And anyway,
it does.
And I'm trying, and sometimes I'll be looking for a way, like, well, if this happened, no, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah. It's
like,
another
in
man's
fact,
opinion.
most things he does gets him further away from having any effect on me because he gets less and less a grip on how the industry works because he makes his industry work for him. He has zero interest in how your industry works. His industry works for him. So that's why his association with, big company this, big name that, is only going to affect you so long. I mean, like, it's going to affect you if you wanted to own all of the Yeezy line because it might not. There is none. So, but like,
it's going to be a little challenging.
But outside
to get
of
those
that,
reboots.
it's just like, for what we do, it's just like there has always been outlandish artists.
Always,
and I still look at, no matter what Kanye does, whatever his network is, I still always look at him as an artist. And when I paint him in that light, no matter what else he's done, I'm just like, we've had shit tons of crazy artists, outlandish, free thinkers, whatever you want to call them, for 1,000 years.
Yeah, and also it's also a thing of like, I don't have to agree with him. It's like, oh, dang, he thinks that. Oh, I don't agree. Anyway, what we getting for lunch?
Right.
That's about the effect it has on my
but
life.
That's a
But
real thing,
people
man.
be
That's a real thing.
crying. I don't know. I'm glad we were
It's
able
a
to
real
talk
thing.
about that.
Separating the man from the artist is just so important.
Yeah, art from
especially
the
with
artist.
him. Yeah.
I mean, we've had these conversations because you got the Kanye's, you got the R. Kelly's, and you got the
Taylor Swift.
Well, I wasn't gonna say Taylor
MJs.
Swift.
I don't
the
know.
MJs. Yeah, I was
Oh,
like, I was
MJs.
like that.
That's-
What's the
that's good.
obvious one?
All right, bro. So you spoke, about working with Miss Tina. I think what's interesting about you, man, is like all of your different gifting brings you to working with people at a high level. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's really because of your loyalty to the art in all forms. And I think one of the things I respect about you is your visual aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? And bro, I want you to speak to the journey that led you to opening VT Studios.
Man, so this guy Caleb, I took a picture of him one Sunday, and I took it on my iPhone, right? And I just know how to use an iPhone so well. So like people saw it and they was like, "Yo, like this crazy." So I became the guy for pictures. Like literally after every service, everybody wanted to take a picture for the gram, and there's a line.
Yeah,
literally a line for me to take pictures. It got to a point like going to different cities. I'm like, okay, we got like a lunch break for like 2 hours. I can't spend 30 minutes taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? But from that, it really moved me into the area of like creative direction. So I would work on people's sets, and I'm like, okay, I'm giving aesthetic, booking peer spaces. So during quarantine, I just had the idea to like open my own studio and work out of my own studio and figure out how I want to curate stuff there.
Yeah.
And VT Studios is downtown Los Angeles, South Park, beautiful loft, very high ceilings. I was able to just, dream and make it happen, honestly. Like, we built everything in the space. I've never painted and plastered and spackled and all of that. It was new to me. So us speaking to like creatively dippling and dabbling, like I didn't even know I was good at these things. You know what I'm saying?
We were sawing that wood piece. What was that wood joint that we had to saw in half?
my front wall, literally, we cut it in half.
Yeah.
I had this big wall that was so large, I had movers come to get it. And when they came, and it was down to like 20 minutes, they had to leave. It wouldn't fit through the door. So I'm like, yo, what am I going to do? So we had to literally saw it in half. And it just sat in my space for a month with no idea of what it would become. And it's my strongest piece now. Like, literally, when you look at it, it's you would just never know what it looked like before.
I gotta come check it out just for that. That's the only reason.
Bro,
I'm coming.
honestly,
everybody gotta come check
I'm
it
very
out.
happy with it. And honestly, I gotta shout out my mom because she came and flew in, and my mom loves me, and I'm literally she's obsessed with me. But she came in like on some momager shit, bro. She was like, no, it has to be impressive. She said it has to wow me.
Yeah,
everything has to wow me. And we finally got to that point. Bro, she is not playing, bro. She is not playing. So yeah, VT Studios, it is a creative studio downtown. Multiple uses, honestly.
How are people using it?
Yeah. What are the uses?
Man, we've had sound baths. We've had
sound baths.
Yeah.
Shout out D.
I've loved those.
We did
is
she still downtown?
And she do sound baths.
Cool.
She gonna hit you up.
Who?
What's that our girl from Detroit?
Yeah.
Yo, actually, that's a good plug.
Yeah.
Okay.
We pull up, and I've been using all black women too. So
she's a black woman.
I would love that.
She loves bathing in sound.
Pull up, girl.
Yeah.
And I've been having like birthday gatherings. We did a viewing party for Soul Train. I done title sessions for Go-Go. We did a virtual concert there. Because the kitchen is in the main space, it's just so many things you can do with it, man.
It is truly a multi-purpose space.
Yeah.
You can do damn near anything in there.
Yeah, man. I got Amber Riley there right now as we speak. She's shooting.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I literally
snap.
and hopefully this comes out when it drops. You know what I'm saying? But
Tell I said what's up. She probably don't remember me that much though.
Well, I know you probably worked with her with Todrick, huh? You probably.
I worked on Forbidden, but I also worked with her a little bit when she was at Scooter Brown Projects, but that's yesteryear for all of them,
Yes, for Color Block Magazine. I got to shout them out too.
Amen.
Their magazine promotes like body positivity, so it was an honor to have them in the space. But it's really incredible. It's my first space, and I'm looking to have this be a series of spaces
That's
in
dope,
different
man.
places.
BT Studios across LA County.
Well, no, in different cities.
Oh, different cities.
Yeah, we getting up out of
Oh,
California
you know what? That's
because that
actually
rent is
better, though.
high.
Yeah, that rent high.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And how can people find VT Studios and book it?
So it has a Instagram page. So first, let me shout out my personal page.
Hey.
Vegaz Taelor, Vegaz, Vegas with a Z, Taelor, Taylor with a E, music. Vegaz Taelor Music, all one word. And VT Studios, the studio page, it's VT Studios 22. VT as in Tom, Studios 22, the numbers.
For sure. All right, before we do the wrap, I got just a quick question before we lighten it up. And this is like, you can keep this as short as possible, but I just want to get like something blunt out of this. Like, you've been in LA a decade, right? So what's something basically that you did or was part of something natural who you are in the industry? So whether it's music or even performance, video, whatever, what's something that you was like, this was what you were doing when you got here, and you're like, now I don't fuck with that shit no more?
That's a good question. 50-50 door splits.
Oh, bring them shows.
No, none of them door splits.
Lord.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it maybe was the structure of some shows. It's not that I wouldn't be willing to do shows anymore, but it's the structure of some shows. I feel like coming to a venue and you only can accommodate the track. Ain't no band. You want me to just perform with a track? Like, nah.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that no more.
Right.
So I would say maybe that's it, really, because I'm kind of doing the same stuff. But yeah, I think as what I've been doing a lot less is shows. And it's just I don't know, just got to accommodate the gift, man.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's cool to like admit and know that you're maybe more than just a singer. Like, it's not just singing. It's like, no, I'm an artist, and that's one way that I can just, display my art, but it's not the only way. And it's not, my thing is I don't perform nowhere if I don't have a monitor. I hate it.
Yeah.
It makes me.
And I have a standard of
hate
the
it.
experience that I want to create for my audience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a part of my artistry. They expect a certain caliber of experience from me.
I have expectations
You
of
know what I'm saying? For sure.
You shouldn't see the artists what they're wearing before they come out. Like, there needs to be a green room. Like, it's those little elements that I think make a show special.
Like, why not? Like,
artist experience is necessary.
Like mingling, have y'all ever experienced mingling with people before you go on and they like, oh nigga, you about to kill it. I know you like all that energy before I'm on stage.
I don't like that.
That's the worst.
I mean, that's why you need that separation.
No, it's like, because are they actually getting a show? I want that anticipation to build in them. I have the excitement. I want y'all to have that excitement.
Yeah.
Share. So it's special. I'm not on stage. It's not like, oh yeah, he was walking, he just walk on stage.
Right.
Hey.
It's so whack. It's so whack, bro.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
That's good.
2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie.
Tell us 3 things about yourself. One of them got to be a lie. We got to guess which one the lie is.
We're going to guess what this
3
is.
things
And you don't
about
tell us
myself.
which one is right until all 3 of us have put our guesses in.
Exactly.
Because that got a little
3
sketchy.
things about yourself. One of them got to be a lie. We guess what the lie is.
Okay, you
The
know
other 2
me
gotta
though,
be true.
bro, so it's going to be a little rough.
No, but just don't say yes or no until all 3 of us have put in our answers.
Okay.
And I'll go last.
Yeah,
thank
He'll
you.
go last. He'll go
Go
last.
last.
Okay. 2 truths and a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love celery.
Off to a good start.
I sniff pillows.
Also off to a good start. That's good.
I've never had sushi.
We were doing so good. We were doing so good.
I did that shit on the spot. I'm actually happy about that.
All right.
Shit.
The first 2 were great, by the way. Just I want to give you kudos there.
Watch your ass be wrong. You're gonna be wrong.
I just don't. There's one. Even if you say that it's wrong, I'm just not going to believe you because I know that it's not true.
Shit.
Period.
I know which one you're talking about.
Nah, I know. I know.
Bro,
I know.
That shit true.
People be accidentally anyway.
Go ahead.
All right, so hold on. What were the first two? I apologize.
And actually, by the way, I don't even know the answer to this one, so I'm excited.
Which one?
He
though?
said.
What were the first two?
He said he loves celery.
Love celery. Okay.
Sniffs pillows.
Sniffs pillows.
And
I've never
He's
had
never had
sushi.
and he's never had sushi.
All right.
Yeah, this is gonna be new for me.
Carl,
okay.
if you know yours, you can
No,
go.
go-
If
go
not, I'm
ahead.
going to go ahead and go mine unashamedly.
Okay.
I'm going to say that the first two are true. The last one is a lie. And even if you just tell me it's different, I'm still believing that. Don't tell us if it's true or not. We're going on to him.
Yeah.
Jordan knows if you sniff pillows or not. By the way, I just want to put that out. He knows.
I think it's just the lie is the sniff pillows.
Hold on, what? The first one?
The sniff pillows is the lie.
Sniff pillows is a lie?
Yeah. What'd you say?
I'm gonna say the sushi is a lie.
That's.
Yeah.
I mean,
granted, I've actually never had sushi with you, but I just doubt that you've lived
That's what I'm saying. Like,
31 years of life and you've
I'm
never
not
had
gonna lie.
sushi.
I don't care what you tell me.
I feel like the sushi is the lie, but I'm not gonna. And I can say why because he has everyone's answer.
Yeah.
No,
I felt like the
well, go
sushi
ahead.
was a lie only because it's the last thing it took you to think about. Everything else came out, and then there was a 30-second break to pick out.
That's fine.
I feel
My
like the
thing
sushi
is,
is a lie.
I feel like the sushi is a lie because even if for some reason he super avoided sushi and everything, like he hasn't really said anything about like, dietary restrictions this whole time. Maybe I missed it. I got here mad late. But
You haven't really prompted it either.
I
though.
believe that he would have accidentally ate some sushi by mistake or something and been like, oh, but that still counts.
You can't
It
live
still
in
counts.
LA and not have had
That's what I'm
sushi.
saying.
It's such an LA thing.
That's what I'm saying. No, it's possible. It's
I feel
highly
like
unlikely.
the top tier, like
It's
the most,
highly
the
unlikely.
most quintessential bougie LA experience is Nobu. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't fuck with sushi though.
You've had it,
No,
though.
but you've had it.
You've
though.
had
you
it.
had it.
But
to
you
know.
were saying quintessential about LA. I had sushi.
Have you been to Nobu?
No, I've only had sushi in Boston.
He might. No, this
I
is
had
what I'm
sushi
saying.
in Boston.
I'm not saying that it's impossible
because
to.
I hated it when I had it.
I'm not saying that it's impossible to have never had sushi, but, and he's clearly a different individual. Blah blah blah. That's a strong-willed. That you are super strong-willed.
That's real, yo.
That
Real talk. Like if you say,
girls, what you
I
think a
believe
girl
you-
is gonna let you get away with not trying, not attempting to like it?
that's more real peer
What?
pressure
What?
than
What you
cocaine or weed or
You
anything,
said you got
bro.
a what? You said a girl.
You are
not-
strong-willed. You're with some girl. Somebody's gonna be upset and just be like, "No, but please just try it. Please just try it." And this, at a certain point, a guy's is gonna be like, "I don't actually care that much. Let me just
Bro,
try
this
this
is-
damn sushi."
This
I don't
is a
believe
great
it.
build. I'm so ready for your answer. So
I don't
go
believe
ahead,
it.
give it to
wait,
us.
before you
There's
even give
nothing
your,
you can
wait,
tell me
before
that
you
makes me
even give
believe that
your
that's real.
answer,
Just so
I
you
am
know.
legit married to a woman that has not seen me eat sushi yet.
She hasn't
But
seen
you
eat
tried
sushi.
it, bro.
That's
That's
not
what
the
I'm
same
saying.
no,
thing.
You
but she
can't
doesn't-
live 30 years on this planet and have never
in
tried
LA.
sushi.
In LA.
Okay,
Even if it was a
so
California roll,
is
bro.
sushi? What do
Exactly.
you characterize as sushi?
Everything. Okay, the only thing I'll say this.
Is it
no,
sushi
hold on,
fish,
hold on.
right?
That's a good question.
Is it
That's-
fish?
no, hold up, just a second.
Go ahead.
So I still technically consider a California roll a sushi, even though it is not actually
Well,
always
I don't
real
even know
fish.
what's the California roll.
It's that
It's
fake
the
crab
it's the
meat
fake
and with
crab
the little
with
celery and
the
everything.
sometimes avocado.
Yeah, I
but
still.
is it seafood?
It's
It's fake crab.
it's fake crab. So yes, I'm saying that as long as it's some sort of uncooked fish.
Okay, so I have not had sushi.
Yes, you have.
I've never eaten uncooked fish.
You've tried it at least once.
Not once.
I don't believe you.
Get the fuck out.
Here's the
I
thing.
don't believe you.
Here's the thing.
I
I
don't
didn't
believe
start
you.
eating fish until Boston, and I don't eat uncooked fish. The only sushi I had
Don't
was a
believe it.
rice wrapped in seaweed.
I still.
So we need to
Hold up.
change that, bro.
Rice wrap. Oh no, I will not eat raw fish ever.
Wait, so you
You've
won't eat,
done it by
will you have
accident.
poke?
I don't like fish.
Well,
like-
we just had fish.
No, I know I can eat that because
He
I
had
I,
a lot of fish.
I can eat fish and chips
He ate
because
3 fishes.
All right. No, we need to get to his
Let's
answer.
get to his answer.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go ahead, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
What's the lie, bro?
What's the lie?
Yeah, that's all we need
What's
to
the
know.
lie?
Okay. First, I want to lead with Buck Sushi.
All
Buck
right.
Sushi.
Whatever.
I never had
Thank you.
sushi
The industry-
ever.
the
That
industry
shit
is
is
never had
gross.
sushi?
Yeah,
You're
hell
not
no.
telling the truth.
Buck
Thank
Sushi.
you.
You're
Wait, but
not
you've never
being
had it, bro?
truthful.
Hashtag.
No.
You've never had
bro,
rice.
My dad
Hey,
hated
You've never
seafood.
had
I
rice
never.
and seaweed.
On God, bro.
No seaweed. No.
Hey,
Exactly.
Vegas,
Tell
Taelor.
them.
Vegas,
Tell
Taelor.
them.
On God, I'm changing that in the next month.
Don't do that. Don't do
In
that.
the next month.
We don't want it.
Sushi.
We don't want it.
Y'all just
We don't want it.
God.
That shit nasty.
All right, so
Put it like
raw
this.
fish
But
already
you've
to
never
me is
had
a
it.
bust.
But you've never had it.
But I
it's
don't want raw fish.
I don't want raw fish. See, y'all saying it's so popular when it's 4 people in this room and half of them like fuck sushi.
Yeah,
we won't have sushi.
But
and we
I will personally admit to the fact that I attract weirdos. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, who you telling?
Jordan,
We know
you
what
don't
room we're
even like
in.
mac and cheese. You don't even like macaroni. That's weird as shit.
Here's the thing. The only thing you can say I don't
or
like
pizza, like
I don't
cheese
like
pizza.
cheese.
hold on,
I
you
don't like
pizza?
sour cream,
He
and I
don't
don't
eat
like
cheese,
yogurt,
bro.
It makes me seem
He don't
pickier
eat
than I am,
cheese.
bro. It makes me
You
seem
don't-
pickier than
okay,
I
no
am. But those are
cheese?
the only things I don't eat.
Wouldn't you find it harder
But
to
it's
believe?
so
Okay,
much
then let me ask
dairy
you
and
guys this.
everything.
Wouldn't you find it harder to believe that somebody doesn't like cheese fucking pizza than sushi?
No.
Never had
No,
sushi.
exactly.
No.
I wanted to be
Or
clear
never,
what we're talking about.
Okay, then let's
I
change
don't
the answer.
believe that you've never had sushi.
cheese pizza as opposed to never
But
had
I've
sushi.
had cheese, and which is what led me to the conclusion that I don't like cheese.
So you've had all those
So
cheeses.
y'all
You
just had
macaroni
a-
and
Bro,
You
cheese.
I had a
opinions
fifth
about
grade
sushi.
Italian teacher
I
that
saw-
insisted that I
I saw the
tried
niggas roll
all
out with
different
the
kinds of
sushi
cheese
on a platter,
to make
and the
sure
fish
I
was
didn't like it.
uncooked. And I from day one
Yeah.
was like, it ain't going
As soon as I
inside
saw
of me.
them wrap uncooked fish at the first time at a sushi, I was like,
I should have guessed
I
that
won't be
though,
having
bro,
that.
because
That's
I invited
gross.
you
Yeah,
to
I
poke
wanted-
one time and you refused. I should have actually guessed that.
Hell no.
I still don't believe you thinking that like it's impossible for you to have accidentally ever eaten a piece of sushi.
No.
I don't believe you.
First off, I'm picky. I'm super
Look,
picky.
don't
Look,
believe
I ain't
shout
no
out to
accidents.
I
Don't believe it.
lived almost 10 years in Boston. Well, let's shout out to the
Damn.
place with the real fish.
Mhm.
Okay, the
Boston?
best seafood.
It's not the only
Is it,
place
is
that
it a
has
coastal
fish.
city?
Yeah,
It's not the only place
Is
that has
it?
yeah.
fish. It's
New
not.
England is where you get all
we
that
already
stuff.
we
I
already
know that
established
about
my
cold
geography is
either.
off, but
Oh no,
like,
no. Like everything you eat in Boston, seafood wise, come out the water that day. That's right. That's like if you go slightly up north, all those lobsters, Maine, all the whole Northeast is a shit ton of seafood. If you go to Boston, you can't walk past fish and chips. It's Boston. That shit is like they took that shit
I think
straight
it's-
from
yeah, I was
England.
about to say that's
So-
UK.
No, yeah, but I'm saying who does it here? Like our fish and chips is like, come on now.
Maybe all soggy chips. I hate it.
Like we actually have
Fish
chips.
is just nasty.
But I'm not gonna go into that because anybody listening, it's like it's no competition when it comes to New England seafood versus
Yeah,
anywhere
suck.
else.
Yeah,
Like
suck,
so,
bro.
but I'll tell you this: as much New England seafood I had almost zero seafood besides shrimp before 18 because I was one of those black kids that when you went to Red Lobster, I didn't even fuck with the fish. It was chicken tenders and the shrimp.
Yeah,
That's
suck,
it.
bro.
So, but when I got to be an adult, I was just like, okay, this place really makes fish. I'm gonna try to learn some stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I might like fish if it's fried. Maybe I eat it like chicken. Then I found a cod someplace. I was like, all right, I can mess with cod. Then I found some halibut. And then I was like, I'll finally try catfish. Those are like the 3 fishes I eat. Now my wife makes salmon. I don't like it, but I eat it.
Salmon is
Okay.
bomb.
so we've
though.
Yeah.
we've established that y'all are weirdos. It's all good.
Y'all
You
are
know what I'm
horrible.
saying?
I think
At
that they're
them,
like,
Lord.
I want to make
they're
sure they're
trash.
canceled by the end of this interview. I'm playing with y'all. I'm playing with y'all.
I'll tell y'all the lie though. The lie was that I love celery. Everything else is true.
Okay.
And you know what? I impulsively let y'all know that I sniff pillows, and that's a deep, dark secret. Honestly,
That's not that. That's not
didn't
that deep.
think-
It's
I
not
thought
that.
that
It's not
was
deep.
true.
it's
and
a
it's not
little
dark.
embarrassing.
I thought
because
that was true, and I thought
Nah,
but then I was just
it
like,
is
is he
true.
just saying that throw me off? Because it seems more true than anything.
this the guy in my studio.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
we
no.
answer live? Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
please.
go ahead.
I'm gonna put him on speakerphone. Hey, what's up, man? You on speaker?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, why did that
Yo,
picture
so-
get on the ground?
Yeah, so I'm trying to lock up, but somebody closed the lockbox, I guess, as we were going in and out.
Oh,
I don't know. I kept the light switches up because I know you control it through your phone.
Tell him don't say the code out loud.
well, you can turn off the main light switch.
You can just beep it out later.
You can turn that one off.
Yeah.
I guess.
That moon in the bathroom, I don't know how to turn that off.
I'll turn that off. I'll turn that off. Is it
There's a moon in the bathroom.
Box is closed. So
is it opening? I just try to open it right now.
open it for me?
We doing business.
Or I can send you
Live.
how that did that pic. I seen a picture fell off the wall in the back.
Yeah, no. So if you saw it. I don't know what happened.
You on the podcast, by the way. You on the podcast, bro. We recording the podcast right now. You on the podcast. We seen that shit. We seen that
seen
shit
it.
on the podcast.
We synced it. We synced it.
That's hilarious.
You be standing around, if you see something you can't
I don't like. I literally said out loud, "How did they even get that off the wall?
Yeah, why'd y'all do
How did
that?
that even happen?"
Even the wall was nowhere near. So
I think the spirit of Michael Jackson was present in the studio.
Right.
He said, "If you live
Is it
off the
broken?
wall."
no, it's not broken.
Okay, thank God. I just sent you.
If you break, you rob, brother.
I made him get. I made you get insurance, huh? He got insurance. We got
Oh, that's
insurance.
good. Go ahead.
For sure.
Bruh. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Thank you so much for gracing
Thank
the
you,
Post
man.
Fader podcast,
sure,
man.
for sure,
I'm
for
incredibly
sure,
grateful for you.
Can y'all make sure that the viewers get to see the conversation before the podcast started?
Absolutely not.
The one
Oh, it's not happening? Okay.
The
No,
one
no.
where-
Hey, y'all
as long-
DM
we
me.
gonna
I'm gonna
say
tell y'all
your stuff.
everything. I'm
Here's
gonna
the
tell y'all
thing.
everything they said.
We
In
can
the
show
caption.
it. I was moving around a little bit too much because y'all kept saying that like it wasn't gonna be on air, and now you want it on air. So like we just go preface
don't want it on air.
as like
It's giving
He
manipulation.
doesn't want it on air
we'll
though.
preface
Mine
it
was
as
good.
like an
No, you
outtake.
can't. I just kept saying,
No, we'll preface it like an outtake so it don't look like I'm like, what the hell am
Nah,
I doing?
it's giving exploitation of vulnerability.
Y'all
Yeah,
DM
that's
me and I'm gonna
exactly
tell
what
you
it is.
everything. I'll
Yeah.
tell you everything you want to know. Just DM me. I'll tell you everything. I promise.
See,
Ladies and gentlemen,
yes sir,
hey.
Vegaz Taelor.
yes sir.
Hello, how you doing?
Cool.
Appreciate
And we
it,
only
man.
45 minutes late.
That's not that bad.
It's not that bad. That's good black people time.
Hey, that was better than me.
That is good black people time. All right, y'all.
Oh, I gotta.